We're taking one last trip on our JR Rail Pass, so we're off to hike up Mount Takao. It takes about an hour on the train, and it's still within the city boundaries of Tokyo. One quick change to a smaller train, and we're nearly there. Mount Takao is situated on the western edge of Tokyo. At the trailhead, you can select from 7 different trails for the 599-meter altitude hike. Even though there is a monkey enclosure on one of the trails, we choose an easier and quieter path. At a small shrine at the base, an impressive grouping of Jizu statues welcomes us. Jizu are the protectors of travelers, unborn children, and children who died early in life. The red bibs signify safety, protection, and help earn merit for the afterlife. Takao hosts about 2.5 million visitors every year. Many come to hike and to enjoy a wide range of wildlife, including birds, boars, and macaques, plus more than 1,200 species of plants. Others come to pay their respects and say prayers at the many shrines on the mountain. Many of the shrines are dedicated to the Tengu, legendary winged creatures now considered mountain guardians and protectors of the good. But Tengu were not always thought of this way. Often illustrated as warrior birds, Tengu exist in the space between Shintoism and Buddhism. From the 8th to the 12th century, they were depicted as opponents of Buddhism, abducting monks, seducing holy men, and robbing temples. Originally, they were pictured as kites, birds of prey, but evolved to be winged humans with a long nose, a substitution for a beak, and defenders of Buddhism. Mount Takao's dense tree canopy provides a perfect home for these mystic elf-like creatures who dwell ascetically in the forest. Tengus are rumored to keep watch from the tops of old mountain cedars. I must admit I had an odd feeling of being watched here. The concept of the Tengu originated in China, where the word was first used to name a comet. Chinese influence was powerful in Japan in 637 AD, when a big star, a comet, flew across the sky, and a priest, Bonzo, told the people it was a Tengu. So beautiful up here. Pretty good trail, I think, eh?
Mm-hmm. Nice and cool. You wouldn't think it was 24 degrees.
The appearance of a comet foretold of disturbances in the world and was an omen of human struggle. Takao's very own Tengus are called Naigubu. And like all Tengu, are considered masters of martial arts and often portrayed wearing ascetic Yamabushi clothing. It's believed that they taught the great warrior Minamoto no Yoshitsune to fight with the war fan and sword. Tengu live an isolated spiritual life on the mountain. Ascetic living is still a practice here in Takao and attracts spiritual devotees who live simply, without the trappings of modern life. The shrine accepts wellness prayers, so we commit a prayer for our sister-in-law, who is very sick. Tengu's demonic, disruptive reputation in the 13th century was enhanced by human imagination. Tengus were deemed the ghosts of vain heretical priests capable of possession, especially of women. They were blamed for abducting priests or boys who would return days later in states of madness. They were especially critical of false pride by playing tricks on arrogant priests and punishing those who misused knowledge or position for personal gain. Even today, a conceited person is called a Tengu ni naru, being a Tengu. Some superstitions blame Tengu, such as when you hear laughter of a group of people behind you, but turn around and no one is there. Several natural phenomena are attributed to Tengu. Small avalanches of pebbles or stones are called Tengu Tsubute. Atmospheric fires, such as the plasma phenomena of St. Elmo's fire, are called Tengubi. Tengu Daioshi describes the cracking sound of falling trees or limbs accompanied by a strong gust of wind. Not surprisingly, the Tengu were said to carry a magic fan capable of creating powerful wind. Their magic fan could also make human noses grow. As the story goes, a human acquires a Tengu fan, then uses the fan to wed a rich man's daughter. At the wedding, he accidentally fans himself, and his nose grows enormously, causing him great pain. I thought we stayed on this side. Now I guess we can cross back over again. Slipping down. Mean guys. Over the centuries, the role of the Tengu tilted away from chaos and tormenting Buddhists. March. As Buddhism grew and matured in Japan, Tengu pivoted from troublemakers to agents of wisdom, guardians of Buddhist ways, and protectors of sacred mountains. In parallel, the image of the Tengu evolved from star to a bird human, eventually to an even more human form, albeit with a long nose and wings. Nearer to the summit, Takao's switchback trails converge on a straight staircase to the top. It's a lot of steps. Historians speculate that Tengu were likely an early form of the sun god as an earthly kami. So it's fitting that their role is now as a protector of spiritual enlightenment. A trek up Mount Takao does have an undeniable spiritual component, whether you are Buddhist or not. Reaching the plateau at the summit and getting a sense of our place on Earth is worth the hike. You can faintly see Mount Fuji in the far distance here. Many seeking spiritual enlightenment by making a pilgrimage to Fuji come here first to get a distant glimpse before continuing their journey. And glimpses looking back at the city are pretty good too. As we begin our descent, the Buddhist temple Takao-san Yakuo-in Yokuji comes into view. Izuna Daigongen, a combination of 5 deities, is enshrined here. Izuna Daigongen is also a protector, keeping devotees safe, happy, and secure in their lives. The temple also pays homage to the Tengu, who are so closely associated with Mount Takao. Many come here to pray to Izuna Daigongen and the Tengu for good fortune. Yakuo-in was established in 744 AD as a base for Buddhism in eastern Japan, and as one of the 3 head temples of the Shingon-shu Chisenha sect. We were fortunate to see the head priest and entourage walking back to their compound. The Tengu are honored here in many forms. Outside the enclave, the left statue portrays the beaked version, said to be undergoing religious training. The Tengu on the right with the big nose is an experienced Yamabushi who has achieved spiritual power through training on the mountain. For centuries, Tengu have been portrayed in painting, sculpture, and masks. Notably, Tengu masks have become key elements in Japanese dance, no, and kabuki theater. And Tengu are constantly being reimagined in modern Japanese culture, such as manga, anime, movies, and TV series. Modern stories with Tengu-like characters, such as the TV series Land of Tanabata, have extended into areas such as preserving cultural identity and living life harmoniously from traditional to modern times. Cedar planks line the roadway on the next level down the mountain. Each one bears the name of the person who donated a cedar sapling to the temple, grateful that their wishes had been fulfilled. Japanese cedar, sugi, are revered by temples. Often a particularly old and majestic one is considered sacred. Atop the giant cedars that line the approach to the temple, legend has it that Tengu no Koshikake Suki, meaning that Tengu sits on top of these cedars and watches over visitors to the temple. Another tale is that during the original building of the road to the temple, this giant cedar was to be cut down. Overnight, the roots magically retracted like the arms of an octopus. People believe that this was the work of the Tengu, protecting the octopus cedar. One can't help thinking that the Tengu are watching over Tokyo as well.
Don't wiggle.
Don't wiggle. Don't wiggle, don't wiggle.
Besides walking, there are two other ways to get down or up the mountain. We chose the chairlift.
Don't swing.
Don't do anything. Just keep it nice on the down low.
The other option was the cable car.
You sure you didn't want to take the cable car?
Kind of steady as you can.
It's not that far to fall.
This part's steep.
There are safety nets if you fall off on the steep sections.
Good, baby.
It's a long chairlift ride, sweetheart.
After a long day of climbing up,
I'm sure the Tengu are sitting up in these old cedars too, laughing at us.
that's so funny.
So you can have the option to buy it
At the bottom, yeah.
It's just over 800 meters long of a ride, but it seems to take forever. Not to mention the creaky sound. Is the Tengu doing that? A comet in the heavens, a bird of prey, a demon, an ascetic hermit, a powerful warrior, a mountain god, or a monster dissatisfied with the world. Perhaps we'll never know who or what the Tengu is.
Yep. Thank you. Arigato.
Arriving back at Shinjuku Station, we have to find our way to the subway. It's a long walk.
Look at my Suica card.
Well, there's about 3 million people going through here every day.
Just up the street from our hotel, we stopped for dinner at Yayoi-ken, a fast-serve restaurant. You order at a terminal when you enter the restaurant.
I have Friday rice soup. Of course, we get the mackerel and eggplant. How was yours, Lori? We got tonight. She has something kind of like comfort food.
After a day of hiking up a mountain, this was just what we needed. Up next on Turn Left here, an impressive martial arts festival. At Tokyo's Meiji Jingu Gyoen, amazing demonstrations of hand-to-hand combat swordplay, and archery on horseback. If you like this video, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date on all our latest episodes. Thanks for watching and see you next time.